Hi everyone, welcome to Blue Heron Hill. I am Sue. This is not my actual garden that you see in a lot of my videos. This is another garden that I have down at a piece of property that we have that we purchased, fixed up this cabin, and I've used this area behind me. This is the second year for winter squashes. It has been a blessing to have this extra space because I have no space in my main garden and my raised bed garden at the house. I don't have room for all of these trailing vines over there, but we do now have an additional area. I introduced this to you last year, and here is where I planted my winter squash last year. I'll put a link to that harvest up in this corner, and you could take a look and see what I got last year, and we'll compare it with what has come up this year. And let me just stand aside here a bit, and you can see a number of my squashes that have come up. The garden this year here seems to have matured a lot faster, and I'm not sure why that is. The months of June and July, of course, were fairly warm, but the month of August has been a little on the cooler side. And it's still up into the 70s, and we've had 80s, but everything has seemed to be dying off here. I have a few in the green spots here in the garden. There are still some to mature in there. But what I want to do is pick these because I worry that there may be somebody coming to eat them. So I wanted to get out here and pull what I can off of these vines, mostly which have been dying, and see what we have. I want to show you how you can tell when it's time to pick your squashes. Here I have two different squashes next to each other. Now they're two different kinds of squashes, but for purposes here, I just want to show the ripeness. Here's a squash here, and you look at your squash, and you come back up, and the first tendril here, this is green. This is still green, so it's not ready to pick. But on this one here, if you can see the tendril, if you can see the tendril, here it is. It has turned brown, so that means that this is okay and ready to pick. And that's what I'll do right now. And you want to cut it with a little bit of the stem still showing here. You don't want to knock it off right down here. You want some of the stem. It helps in the further curing of the squash. So let's get to it. I know this is a little overkill, but I forgot to bring down my pruners to cut these off of. So we just have to use some lopping shears instead. All harvested, although I do have a few out there that are still not ready, and I'll just kind of let them set and see if I can get anything off of them. We still have plenty of time in this growing season, but I wanted to show you what I have here. Quite a spread, quite a harvest. Look at all of that. Isn't it absolutely wonderful? Okay, here is the haul. We'll start over here. These are crookneck squashes. I have some doozies. I want you to see this big one. Look at how giant he is. All of this will be flesh with a small seed cavity right here. I love this variety. It has done extremely well for me these last 2 years. Next to these are called honey nut squashes, and they're like a butternut, but they're like an individual size. Oftentimes I get them this big, but I've gotten some tiny ones this time. Most of the ones that are out that I'm letting set and ripen some more out in the garden are the honey nut. I think they may have come along too late, or later than everything. These are called Sunshine. It's a hybrid variety. They start out yellow, and sometimes I pick them as small as a ball size and eat them young. They are a firm little squash, and they have just such a mellow, buttery flavor when they're picked young, but they're great as a winter squash too. Next door here, I think these are a kombucha squash, and they are blue and pink. And this one right here was the only one that had some nibbles in it. And I don't know what got to that, but nothing else in all of my squashes here showed any insect or rodent damage or animal damage. The next group here is butternut. I think I only had, I think I had 3 plants. This is a rather small harvest for 3 plants, but that's fine because I have all of those crooknecks over there. Here is my haul of spaghetti squash. Oh, I am in love. I love spaghetti squash, and the fact that I got some orange Getty ones are wonderful. Those were seeds that I had saved from a few years ago from my daughter, who purchased an orange Getty spaghetti squash in the supermarket. Over here, these are our pie pumpkins. I think they're sugar pie pumpkins, and all a very good size. This one, I think, is about the biggest pie pumpkin I think I've ever gotten. I love these smaller size because they're perfect for, you know, all the dishes and even for pies, making the pies. So this has been quite a lovely harvest of my winter squashes. And it's quite early because we are still in August and nearing September. I think last year I picked them in September. So this year's harvest, I am very, very pleased. The sun has come out. It was threatening with some sprinkles and stuff right as I was coming down here. I wanted to get this harvested off and make a short little video and show you what I got this year. Even though it is a little early, it's probably, I didn't harvest until September last year. But, and I only had one that was nibbled on, so that is a good thing. So thanks for following me on this video. Have you harvested your winter squash yet? And what varieties do you usually grow? Let me know if there's any ones that you are particularly fond of. Maybe I'll try those next year. So until the next time that we can go digging in the dirt, happy gardening. Bye. Just want to interject this little segment. I forgot to talk about curing your winter squash. So in you choosing the squash that's nice and mature and has a nice hard skin, and it's difficult to puncture, like if you tried your thumbnail or something, it's difficult to puncture. And also that little curlicue test also is a good way of testing for a mature squash. So when you bring it home, you're going to want to wash it. A light vinegar water solution, or even a bleached solution. Get all of that dirt and mud and any kind of bacterial or that may linger on the skin you want to wash off. But very light solution of any of those two will do the trick. Now, as for curing, You want to choose a nice, warm, dry area with very good circulation. You want, such as a sunny location. I'm probably going to put mine out in my greenhouse. You want a nice, warm temperature, you know, high 70s, 80s is really good. And this curing process can take anywhere from, 5, 6 days up to, 2 weeks or so. And this is going to help dry out that stem so nothing can enter through that stem. During this time, the squash is going to lose some of their excess water inside, and they may shrink just a tiny bit, but those sugars inside are going to concentrate and intensify, and that's what you want. And the curing process is going to help harden that skin so it heals any minor scratches and cuts that it might have and seals all that goodness inside. So you're going to have a long-lasting product to store in your root cellar or your basement or any cooler location in your home.